Post-UTME is very hard. Even brilliant students fail it. Your UTME score does not matter. If these are statements that you have heard, then this video is for you. Because today, I'm about to explain that post-UTME is not for the weak. Just kidding. I'm about to explain that post-UTME is not something you fear. Seriously. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying post-UTME is easy. And I'm not saying you can walk into the examination hall unprepared and come out with excellent score. What I'm saying is, many students tend to be far more afraid of post-UTME than they need to be, and that fear is hurting them. You see, when people do not understand something, they tend to fear it. So before we explain why you shouldn't fear post-UTME, let's first understand why it exists. Years ago, universities in Nigeria conducted their own entrance examination, and there were several problems that came with that, like multiple admission, different standards in testing candidates, and so on. So the federal government established JAMB to have a more unified admission system and testing system. But after some time, there were some other issues with JAMB, like examination malpractice. Also, some universities noticed that students with impressive UTME scores struggled academically when they eventually gained admission. So because of this, some universities deemed it fit to establish post-UTME, not because they wanted to torture candidates, not because they wanted to make admission impossible, but because they wanted a second chance to test candidates for themselves. Think about it this way. Imagine you had a car and you needed a driver. Then someone walks up to you and says that he's a good driver. He shows you a certificate and he shows you his driver's license. Would you immediately hand over your car keys to them? Obviously not. You want to test them. You want to see the person drive first. That's exactly what post-UTME is. Post-UTME is simply the university saying, okay, show us that the score that we saw on your UTME truly reflects your ability. And that's where many students miss the point. Post-UTME is not a trap. It's a verification process. So if you prepared very well for your UTME, sat for the exam honestly and earned your score, then you already possess the foundational skills necessary to perform well in your post-UTME. Does that mean you should immediately stop studying? Obviously not. In fact, that's where many students make a costly mistake. UTME comes, they study well, they pass excellently, they think that they are bosses. Then post-UTME comes, they stop studying, then they fail, so they have to go another year. Remember, the university still wants evidence. So study seriously, revise very well, practice past questions, but don't prepare from a place of fear. Prepare from a place of confidence. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, how about the stories I've heard of brilliant students who failed, admission controversies, cancelled results, etc.? My answer to that question is simple. What can you do about those things? Can you control them? No. The only things within your control are your preparation, your attitude, your discipline, your faith, and prayers. So focus your energy there. Don't spend weeks worrying about things that you cannot control. Spend those weeks studying instead, because fear has never increased anybody's score. Preparation does. At the end of the day, thousands of people take the post-UTME and thousands pass. There is absolutely no reason that you cannot be one of them. So study hard, trust God, and go into the exam with confidence. We are rooting for you. See you at the top.